week we're going to look at attacking from the mount and control. So the main thing when you get into the mount position is controlling your partner's hips so that your partner doesn't just get out right away. So notice how I'm in a lower position, so I'm below my partner's elbows. Okay, so I'm sitting over his hips from this position. So if I stay upright, it's pretty easy for my partner to start getting on his side and start hitting an elbow escape and creating that space. Okay, so the main thing is when you get into the mount position, the first thing you want to do is control the position. So what I want to do is I want to stay low with my chest, and I want to try to lock my hips down. So if you guys see from the side, how I want to drop my hips in, I want to lock my ankles. Okay, I can also grapevine, but it's easier to get out, so it's easier to lock your ankles here. I want to get my hips real low, and I want to keep my chest heavy on the mat. Okay, come back. So the first thing in this situation is I want to stop my partner from being able to get on his side, because that's how he's going to start getting out. So as Andy starts turning to his left, okay, I'm going to use my forearm to block his face here. Okay, so I'm going to use my forearm to block his face, and I'm going to lean my weight to the other side. Okay, you'll notice how my right elbow is going to keep his face from turning to his left. Okay, and this is going to give me some time to start opening up and freeing the lapel. Okay, so I want to keep my elbow on the mat, and I'm going to start pulling out some slack here on the lapel. Okay. When I enter my hand in on the choke, I want to make sure right when I get my hand in is I keep my weight back. Okay, if I'm sitting forward and my hand bends, it's going to be easy for my partner to bring their hand inside and start defending the cross choke. Even if I get my hand here and I sit up, he can push my elbow up with his left hand, and then he can swim his hand in. Okay, so the easiest way, once I secure one grip, is to drop my weight and keep all my weight onto my partner's neck. And that's really what makes the cross choke really tight here from the mount, is that my weight is driving into my partner's neck. So notice as well, I want to flex my hand, my choking hand up a little bit. I don't want my hand bent around his neck. I want to put my hand in, flex my hand up, and drive my weight into my partner here. Notice I still have my ankles locked. I'm still really low here. Okay, from this position, and cross choke is a really good attack, and it really links a lot of other attacks. So I'm going to start with my cross choke. I'm going to bring my hand to the other side. I'm going to use my forearm to move his face if it's in the way. I'm going to look to get my thumb inside, forearms together, and then let all my weight sink into my partner's neck for the submission. Okay, so when we start out in the mount, I'm in stability mode. I'm trying to keep my hips locked. If my partner's pushing on my hips, I can lock onto his head. Okay, so that he can't move away. Because if he pushes my hips and he starts squirming away, he could get an angle and he could pop away here and open his guard. Okay, so if I feel I'm locked in with my hips already, but I feel like he's just pushing my hips, I want to lock onto the top of his head. Notice how I kind of anchor myself to him, so it's going to be difficult for him to do that. Okay, from this position, maybe he turns and tries to hit an elbow escape. As he turns and looks for that elbow escape, I'm going to block his face with my arm, and I'm going to lean to the other side. Okay, anytime I commit my arm, I don't want to get rolled to that side, so I got to lean my weight to the other side here. I'm going to use my hand to start pulling some slack out of his gi, and I'm going to feed that to my strong hand, and then drive all my weight into his neck. Okay, I'm going to walk my hand to the other side, slide it back, thumb in, forearms together, all my weight on my partner. And the finishing technique, once I get all my weight on, is I'm just going to flex my wrist in a little bit. Okay, that's going to provide that last bit of pressure to get the submission from the cross choke. It's a good way to set up advancing from the mount. Okay, so I get my cross choke set up. This time, as I look for the angle here, my partner starts bringing their hands in, defending the choke. Okay. Now, once he starts bringing his hands in, he's going to definitely look to defend this top arm. Okay. I'm going to be able to start advancing my leg up. Okay. So now I've gotten to a more modified position. Because he took his elbow off the ground, it allowed me to slide up to an angle here. Okay, now I want my knee about 3 or 4 inches above his head here, and I want my other foot staying tight to his hip. Now I still have a cross choke attack, and I also obviously have like maybe an armbar attack here. So I want to use this combination, and one thing I want to do is to make the armbar easier is to advance to an S-mount position, where I bring my leg up and I fold it around. And then obviously, notice how I've shifted my weight towards my right arm here, keeping the pressure on the neck. Okay, I have a free hand that I don't want to get my arm grabbed because I'll lose my base, so I keep this hand free, and this is the same hand that I can continue to pressure the cross choke. If he defends the arm bar,
by keeping his arms tight to his body, because it's more challenging to get an armbar when everyone keeps their arms tight to their body. It leaves the neck open. Okay, that's where I'm going to start looking to come back towards the cross choke. And by faking at his neck, that's going to get this top hand to defend his collar. Now he's more vulnerable for the armbar. Okay, so the way to set the armbar up is to paw at the neck. When I see this, and this is his defensive arm, is covering the other arm. When I see that arm come up, I'm going to push that arm to the ground just enough to pull up on the other one with so my cross choke arm pulls the other arm out. Okay, I keep that blocked by my neck, grab his sleeve, step over, knees tight, elbow up, okay, fall straight back to the armbar finish. Okay, if you fall to the side, it's going to allow your partner to come up on you. Okay, so try to fall straight back. If you fall to the other side, it's going to allow him to turn his face and roll out. Okay? So it's best on these arm bars to fall straight back, keeping your feet to the floor, your knees squeezing together, and capturing the wrist here for the submission. Okay, so we start here in the low mount. I'm low here. I'm blocking his face. He's looking to turn to that side. I'm blocking his face with my forearm as I open the lapel with my other free arm. I'm going to pass the grip, heavy elbow, and start looking to attack the cross choke. At this point, people's arms are going to start coming up. He's going to have to defend my arm. He's going to have to start coming over the top of my arm, defending with the hands. I slide up to a modified position. Okay, notice how my knee is above his head. I keep my knee down, I keep my heel tight, and then I look to come into the S mount. And it's important that you guys slide your leg up to the armpit, then fold your knee in and pick up on the collar. Notice his hand, I lift up on his collar though. I can bring my knee a little bit under his head. And from here I have the best angle. Notice how I'm not sitting up here off balance, I'm leaning down. And this gives me a better angle to tap. Especially if I want to start freeing this arm. Okay? If his arms are in real tight, I'm going back to the neck. Okay, so if I start faking the neck and he starts bringing that hand in, now I'm going to use this hand to push that arm away. My hand from the collar, pull the sleeve up, block his hand, okay, so he can't re-grab. Grab on the sleeve, step over. Notice I control his other arm so he can't re-grab his hand. Free arm to elbow for the submission. Okay. So there's a couple ideas from the mount. The main thing is staying low in the beginning. I don't want to be, if my partner has his elbows in, I don't want to be sitting upright where he can get me falling forward and he can get angles and he can look to start escaping there. Okay, so I have to put pressure on his neck to get him to bring his hands up so I can attack my submissions. Okay, if he starts with his arms in already, okay, a real simple way to advance yourself is just to attack the top arm and look to advance by attacking American lock. Okay, so this way, if his arms are up, it's hard for me to start with a cross choke because it's keeping his arms in. Okay, and sometimes guys keep their arms real tight and I can't really get high as well. So all I'm going to do is go 2-on-1 on the top arm. Okay, use my body weight to start pinning that arm down. Okay, now he has to start reacting by turning on his side, otherwise I can attack that American lock. So right away I start getting to that same attack angle. Okay, where from this angle I have a lot of attacks. I have arm bar, okay, on the close arm, and notice how I keep this arm pinned so his hands are separated. Separate his hands makes it much easier for me to step over and finish the arm bar. Okay, as well from this separated position, I can look to start coming under and attacking collar chokes as well. Okay, from this position, I can take his back or attacking his neck. Okay, so it's a very good offensive position. So if you are in a mount situation, the guy does keep his elbows up in towards his body, I can look to start attacking the top arm, use my body weight. But notice how I keep my weight in my hand, so if he turns, I'm agile, so I can move my legs and I can start peeling his hands apart. Okay, then I can go into my sequence, arm bars. Okay, I can take his back, I can attack his neck here, I can go for American lock, very good position for me.